Hey folks, Bevan here with Let's Level Up, and I'm here today to show you Spy Alley. Spy Alley is a game where you have a board and you have little pawns, and you move around the board. Here's our board. So you start up here, kind of like Monopoly, and we'll have it down on the table in a second to show you, but you start up here and you come around, and as you're going around you can land on different spots and do different things. The idea of the game is you are spies, and each person in the game is either a French, German, Spanish, Italian, American, or Russian spy. And your spy card is, you will be dealt it at the beginning of the game, and it gives you one of those identities. And then you will set that down in front of you face down and not reveal what you are for the rest of the game. And the idea is you want to be the first person in the game to collect the password, the disguise, the code book, and the key for your country, and then wind up at your embassy, which is in this area of the board here called Spy Alley, and there's a different embassy for each person. If you successfully collect all 4 of the items for your country on your scorecard, and then get yourself into Spy Alley, into your embassy in Spy Alley, you win the game. Also, the other way to win is if you are the last player remaining in the game. If all the other players are eliminated and you're the last one standing, you win. So you may be asking yourself, how do you eliminate someone? At any time on your turn, you can choose, instead of taking your turn, to call somebody out. Let's say that Ricky and I were playing, and I was pretty sure that Ricky was the Spanish embassy, the Spanish spy. Let's say that he had collected all four of his items there. But you can see those little pegs. You put those in to show what you've collected. And he's been collecting nothing but Spanish items, and he hasn't ever touched anything else, and he's had opportunities to get other things, and he hasn't taken them. I'm pretty sure he's the Spanish spy, so I can, on my turn, say, Ricky, I think you're the Spanish spy. If he is, he's out of the game. If he's not, I'm out of the game. So you don't want to just go guessing against people all the time, because it's a real quick way to get yourself out. In addition, it becomes real clear pretty quick that you're not just going to want to pick up, for that very reason. You don't just want to get the things or try to rush for the spaces on the board that get you your country's stuff. You want to kind of throw people off, buy something here, buy something there. Certainly try to build up towards completing your country's row, but don't make it super obvious that you're doing it, or somebody's going to call you out real quick and you're going to be out of the game. That said, let me go ahead and take it down to the table, and I will let you guys see how the game works. Okay guys, and here we are at the table with Spy Alley all set up. So as you can see, up here we have all 4 of our pawns for our 4 players who are currently in the game. Everybody starts there. When we played this game, I had a couple people mention that they thought it was kind of like a social deduction Monopoly, and that's not a bad way to think of it. You're not really trying to collect the actual spaces around the board here, but you are trying to land on them so that you can do certain things. You can see here that if you land on this space, for instance, you can pick up code books, which again, on our Spy Alley card, we need passwords, disguises, code books, and keys for our for whatever our nation is that we're spying for. And so you can pick up as many code books as you want if you land on this space. So, let's say that we were the American spies, I might pick up the American code book and, the Spanish code book here, so that nobody's real sure what I'm doing, for instance. That way they're less likely to call you out because they're not real sure what you're trying to collect, and they don't want to get eliminated by guessing incorrectly. And then in addition, it may throw them off where they let you do what you're going to do, and you're not really harassed about picking things up. So there's the strategy in this game is not super deep. I mean, it's pretty obvious. You want to collect all your stuff without letting anybody else know what you are. But there are a little bit of there's a little bit of depth to it in that. For instance, let's say that I was American, and let's say that I picked up American and Spanish every time. Well, if one of my other opponents is actually the Spanish spy, and there's only one of each spy in the game, then they know I'm not Spanish. And if I'm leaving it up to just one or two options, and they know that I'm not Spanish, I must be American, and they're going to call me out really quick, and I'll be out of the game. So, you kind of have to watch out for things like that. You've got to mix it up on your scorecard a little bit and try to keep it to where no one's real sure what you're doing. Don't, for instance, pick up like an American thing and a Russian thing, and an American thing and a German thing, and an American thing and an Italian thing, and make it real obvious that you're sticking down the American line there. That said, the game is real simple to play. The first player takes the d6 and rolls it. Whatever they roll is the number of moves they do. If we were the white player, we would move 1, 2, 3, 4. So we land here. This is the American password for $1 square here. So I could pay $1. You start the game with a number of cash equal to 10 times the number of players. So if there were 4 players, $40. So for $1, I can pick an American password only. I cannot, unlike the other types, I cannot buy one of 2 or 3 different kinds. I can only buy the American one. But it's only $1, so if you land on one of those spaces, pick it up, throw somebody off a little bit. But that's pretty much your turn. You roll the die and you move spaces and you do what's there if you choose. The next player would go, let's say that's blue. They roll a 2. They come here to the move card. So the move cards, you would draw the one off the top, and it says save. So it wants you to save this card. Save this card to move 2 spaces on any future turn. And then you would put that near your scorecard, face up, where everybody can see what it is you have. And then the way we were playing it is, instead of rolling the die and moving, let's say that I started here on the move card and I wanted to pick up this American password. Instead of taking a chance and rolling the die, I can just use that move card to move that number of spaces. So those can be pretty important. You can pull off some pretty interesting plays by positioning yourself just right the turn before, and then knowing that you're going to be able to do something on the next turn. So that's kind of neat. The other thing that you'll see here is these free gift cards. Let's say that we came over here. This space is a free gift space. And those free gifts, for the most part, are your passwords, disguises, code books, keys, all that stuff. However, there are wild cards in here, and a wild card gets picked up and put, kind of next to your movement cards, face up, and then you don't immediately apply it. You hold on to that until the end of the game. Let's say I had 3 Americans. I had the American password, disguise, and code book. I had the Italian disguise, code book, and key, and I had the Spanish password, disguise, and key, or something like that. So I have 1 missing from each of these 3. Because I got that wild card, luckily, there's only 4 of those in the free gift deck. Whenever you land on your appropriate space, let's say that we were Italian, and we would not let anybody know what that was. So if we were Italian and we have 3 of our Italians set up, then all I've got to do is try to land myself on this Italian embassy and then declare that I'm Italian. I have all 4 of my things. I had the Italian, say, disguises, code books, and keys, and then I say the wild card is the Italian password that I was lacking. So those are very handy to get. You want to try to get those free gifts. Not only that, but let me see if I can get this into focus real well here. If you can see, the keys are worth $30. So it's going to be kind of difficult for you to buy multiple keys. For instance, in a 4-player game, you only start with $40. So if passwords are $1, disguises are $5, what are the other ones? The keys are $30 and the code books are $15, then you can see that already we're looking at over $40 just for the keys and code books. So you're going to want to be collecting money. You collect $15 every time you go around the start here. There are other things you can do. You can sell top secret information by landing on this space to get $10 more. And then there are other ways to lose money as well. The border crossing, if you land on the border crossing here, you have to pay $5 down here at the bottom. I don't know if you can see my finger down there. So, but basically money is a bit of it. You want to make sure you're budgeting yourself correctly. But because the keys are so expensive, that's going to be a pretty good indicator. You're not going to want to throw away $30 on a key if it's not your key, or at least it's not going to be the first one you get. You know, you're not going to happen to land on the keys for $30 space and then spend one on a French key when you're Spanish, because, you know, that's a lot of money that you just gave up. So, but then again, that could just be another way to throw people off. In general, the game's very simple. Roll the dice, move, make your decision on if you're going to take advantage of the space you landed on or not. Try to collect your 4 for your country as easily and subtly as you can, and then try to land on your embassy. The last thing that I would mention, there's a couple of kind of interesting spaces here. The spy eliminator space, we have talked about that if you try to accuse somebody and you're incorrect, then you're eliminated from the game. If you land on this spy eliminator space, let's say that yellow was in here somewhere, white was in here somewhere, and I was blue, and I land on this spy eliminator space. I can try to take a guess, one single guess, about each person that is in Spy Alley. Spy Alley is everywhere between here and the Russian embassy. So this whole little area right here that's off of the outer edge of the board. So you want to try to catch people in there if you can. You know, if you happen to be rolling a little bit lower than some of the other people, that may not be too bad, because that means that other people might get into Spy Alley before you get there. And then, you know, let's say that you landed on the black market and you had a move 3 card, you could just, you know, move yourself over to Spy Alley. So that's something that you want to take advantage of. In fact, I think that that was used to great advantage in the game that we played with Ricky and a couple of other people here recently, where I think 1 or 2 different people got eliminated in Spy Alley because people were pretty sure about them, but they didn't want to take a chance and possibly lose the game because they guessed incorrectly. And sure enough, we got into Spy Alley and they gave it a shot, and some of the guesses were wrong, but at least 1 or 2 of them were right throughout the game, and people got eliminated that way. So it's pretty fun. I think the game is good. By no means is it, you know, a really deep strategy game, but it's fun. It's for players 8 and up. So, you know, if you're wanting to play it with kids, I think that there's a good amount of strategy and a good amount of deduction involved, where younger players are going to be challenged and older players are not. It's not going to be unfun for you. I did enjoy it quite a bit. I think that you guys will enjoy it, and I hope that you have a chance to play it soon and that you like it as well as I did. Thanks, guys.